Such as it is, this is my house. We have a bed, a large chest, 3 small chests, a terracore, which I'll come back to, a door, which opens, closes, windows, which open and close for some reason, don't know that yet. We have an item retriever, which unfortunately doesn't work the way I thought it would. Supposedly you can put 3 items in this, and when you die you'll automatically have those 3 items. So I would have assumed it would have actually have given you back the last items you had when you died, but that is not the case. So this powers electricity, which will go to this power floor, which then gives power to the plasma workbench, and most importantly, the repair bench. As you can see, I've got 2 items on me now. They just die too quickly. Weapons will just break far too quickly. So we can pop this in here. This has been doing this for the last few hours, I don't know why. There we go. So I've actually got the items on me to repair this. I can repair it. Flawless repair probability 90%. I got lucky. So we now have this weapon, which is now repaired. Going into it quite quickly, but there's a reason. So in my inventory, I have all of these items. In my box, I have a lot of items, not all the same. Same with these 3 boxes. There's items in here. They're all different. The problem so far with this game is there is a lot of items which are available, and you need to get a lot of items to make things. And it's just so difficult with what you can actually get from the crafting screen. You know, a lot of this stuff makes sense. An Aegon, which is a pistol, but yep, no, that requires the pistol ammo. You've got light ammo, which will go towards some of the rifles, which, like the Cabalite and the Glee, but that's an energy weapon. This requires 15 batteries and some bolts, which I don't physically have on me at the moment. They're in the box somewhere. But if you have a plasma workbench, you can actually make them cheaper. So, long story short, you need a plasma workbench, meaning you need to have the power floor, meaning you need to have a terracore, meaning you need to have a base. And I'm just playing the single player at the moment while I get used to the game. But I mean, you can see here, it just looks amazing. It really does. So the story is, Earth has become uninhabitable. We're now living in defense satellites, platforms, and we are an outcast or a prisoner, because this is now classed as a prison planet. We have to come and collect these things, which is terracite. It's an element which was found and farmed, which caused the Earth to be uninhabitable. And supposedly we have to collect enough of this to get to the centre of the island we're on, so we can actually escape back up there somewhere. Sounds simple enough, but it really isn't, especially as this game is still in a beta phase. I did come over here because you can see the water sometimes doesn't look as clear. Seems to have sorted itself out. But again, beta is beta. It's not going to be perfect, but you know, you still expect it to be playable somewhat. I'm still looking, but yeah, no, it seems fine. So we have a base here. How much ammo have we got? While I'm here, there's memory chips which we can collect and upgrade, which is obviously through the plasma workbench. Protocols, which I haven't actually found yet. Clothing we can make. It's mostly cloth and leather, but the problem there is it's quite actually difficult to get cloth. I've not found an easy way. It's not like you can just find a bush and collect it like rust. So we have a little deserted area here. A lot of areas items which we can just look through. Get some water. Again, being in beta phase, this area will respawn quite quickly, which also doesn't help the performance because this isn't optimized and my fans are going crazy. Also tried recording this with OBS and it just didn't like it, so I'm now having to use NVIDIA. It's been a while since I've done that. So we've got rubble. Again, this will get us stone, which is pretty much used for building bases. But single player, you don't really need to worry too much about the base. There's turrets and defences and all that malarkey, but that's mostly for the PvP side, which, again, trying to get used to the game. I've not gone that way yet. But a lot of the gameplay so far I've experienced kind of really requires more than just yourself, because the... Actually, I won't say that yet. See that in just a second. But it's very limited on what you can do, especially if you die, and having all this stuff on you, it's very difficult to get it back. You should be able to go back to your body and collect it. But sometimes the body's not there, sometimes it's on a different platform. There is a deer. So there are deers and bears which you can shoot for food. Sorry. So sorry. Your death will not be in vain. They're very similar. We've got elk meat and deer, elk, same thing. We've got leather and meat there, we can go cook that. Middle screen at the bottom, 94 and 93 water, because we just had some. We've got some meat. A lot of this stuff was explained, but as I said, I lost that footage because it was so stuttery when playing it back. And there's not many options within the game to restrict it. Having a 144Hz monitor, you can only limit the frame rate to the refresh rate of your monitor, which again doesn't help. So recording it in a more raw state with NVIDIA was the only way to actually get smooth footage, and I'm hoping it's smooth. I did a test earlier to make sure and it seemed okay. So we've got these little stations. Again, this is going to be an issue where we can get some ammo, little camera thing which gets some more stuff, and we're full, so there's really not much more to do because we have to go back and get rid of it. But we've got these little point of interest areas. I've actually completely rotated myself. Okay, yeah, no, we'll just quickly go up here. So we can hear something above us, but we should be able to see one at that area there. So the more you go into the island, the more enemies you'll see. But obviously the better resources you'll actually get. So there is a robot. He has a shield and a stun stick. And I'm out of ammo. That elk almost killed me. So you can get upgrades for the guns and mods, so you can get an extended magazine and silencer. You can get scopes as well. But trying to learn this at the moment is quite difficult because you can just so easily die. Because cloth is so hard to get, bandages are hard to make. I think the antibiotic shot that you need, which also replenishes your health, I think that requires motors, and they're just hard to come by. It's not like, as I said, you can just go to a tree and get wood. You can't. There's just so much stuff. It's not like metal pipes, metal fragments, and you can make a variety of different guns with adding a couple of things, which is what you have in Rust. It's just so more complex, which isn't a bad thing. But usually, if you're just going after like a semi-auto rifle, the semi-auto rifle in Rust will do the job. An AK will do a better job, but it's just that length of time. And unfortunately you have to go after certain things in this game, which I don't know how to get. There's not like a set way of getting it, it's just luck. So we've got a shield here. You can shoot this down or manually break it down by just punching it, but again, I'm not sure if this is intended. But you can just run around sides of these. Nice little gap. So we've got another enemy up there. We have an enemy up there, and then there's also a turret there. They hit hard. And I mean they hit hard. Hit hard? Hit hard! They hit hard! And you have to have so much ammo. The guns break very quickly. And they're still accurate. They're as accurate as anything. Quick. I could use the other weapon. I don't know if I've got ammo for that. I haven't got ammo for that. If you're too close to something, you don't always reload. These yellow boys are actually quite hard. So in terms of the robots, there's usually blue ones which are relatively easy to kill. Then you've got the ones with the shield, they're obviously slightly harder. Then you get the ones with the weapons, and they're the ones which I'm kind of stumbling at the moment against. See then, 114, that went down to like 94 or something, and I got hit once. I think I got hit again, but it just didn't register as a feedback. And no noise. Just stalked up behind me, and that would have killed me, and everything I've got on me, I would have lost, had to have come back. Which isn't the easiest thing to do. So yeah, being beta phase, there are a few things which needs to be fixed, and that is kind of a few things, really. But I do die, and I come back a few hours later and try again. I never really get any further than that, but you know, it keeps me coming back. So it is fun, even if it is a pain. So what I'll do is I'll try and get a more powerful gun and go further into the island, so we can see what that's actually like. I just got attacked by a bear, and I was getting sniped by something, and it's actually this turret up here. If I die now, I will not be happy. So, there was a bear? There is no bear. Bear was a lie. So we're coming a little bit further. I mean, on the map, that's where our little house is. This is where we are now. It's kind of broken up into quarters. This area is more of the foresty area. This is possibly more urban. Well, there's less trees. And then this area is like a deserted desert. This area, I don't think there is anything there yet. And then this in the middle is the mountain, which is where you actually leave the planet. So you get more terracite from these ones, and there's also like a redder version as well. It's also getting later, so it's actually getting a little bit darker. But yeah, there's an area up there which I want to get to, but again, it's the progression phase, and it's difficult to get up there at the moment. So if you look on the screen at the bottom, we've got 100 stamina. That's actually quite easy. That's just running. The other thing, bottom right, which is the energy, is something I've not really used. With the chips and stuff you actually put in conjunction with your laser arm. You can use other features kind of similar to Destiny 2. You can put like a barrier down, and similar to Borderlands as well. You can put like decoys out, and that costs energy. But to replenish that energy, you then need batteries and stuff, and that's more stuff you need to learn to use. And if there's a better way to, invest those resources. And I think if we get the other side of this building, or is it over there? Could be this one. See in a minute. But there are there's one. There are vehicles. Now the vehicles you can use. Did I use both of those? Could have used both of these, but they don't have wheels when you find the vehicle, and then you make one single wheel and it fixes everything. So you can get in them. Oh, actually, it's still got power. You can make a battery for the vehicle to move a bit more, but again, it runs out really quick. If there's a way to actually put this, there is a garage door you can make. So whether or not you can put this into your house and charge it up using the Dysterra core, possibly. But again, that's something that I need to look at. And because they're releasing this game, it seems like for a week every month, it's not enough time to really get an idea of it. And even between me making this gun, the whole drag and drop system doesn't work anymore for whatever reason. So I mean that made it really difficult. It took a while to actually make this. So we'll go over here and now get some fresh bear meat. Again, it's not optimized, so there is going to be stutter here and there. Come on. So, just grab some more ammo out of these things. So, as I said, the further you go in, you get richer resources, so you can actually get more out of it. And then there's a chance to get terracite sand and like a concentrate. But then we've got this little area here as well, which I don't think I'll be able to do solo. Don't know if it's actually active now. Big robot man! And there's a lot of ore there to collect. Now I've read up about this guy, I forgot what his name is, but there's like 4 stages to beating him, and I just don't think it's possible. Not where I am. Also, hitboxes are very wide on the environment. Which obviously helps for defense. Food doesn't give you any health back, which I think it should do a little bit, just because of how hard it is to get cloth. I didn't realise he actually came that close. Is he actually attacking or not? Okay, perfect example. I heard nothing, saw nothing. And then usually what would happen is I'd log off and come back a little later and try and get my gear again. And usually the gear is inaccessible and back at square one, and obviously a lot of resources down. So it's something that I do keep coming back to, obviously, but I wouldn't say it's unplayable at the moment. Again, if you are doing PvP and you got, I mean, that's the thing. If you're doing PvP, you have to go onto a server to play PvP, and you'll be fighting other players. There supposedly is a co-op mode, but you can only play single player or PvP. I can't invite anyone to play the single player, which you can in 7 Days to Die. So the ability to have others to come into the PvE aspect side of it would be good. But anyway, I'll come back when I'm actually closer.